The days have been smoky this week after the fires that came close by last Friday.
Hi friends, it is pretty smoky out here, hence why I've got one of the filtration masks that we use when there's bushfires in the area. I'm pretty tired, we're both pretty tired, and we're able to rest a bit today because there's no wind and the fires seem to be as under control as much as they can be. And I haven't really been out here in the garden properly to have a good look. I can tell that my potatoes are almost ready to harvest, or some of them anyway, this row. And my carrots are looking fantastic. And these flowers are gorgeous, so I'm going to pick some right now and have them to take inside. I'm a bit behind on everything. It's been really hard to concentrate on anything else other than the devastation that's taking place in our communities here. And yeah, we're doing what we can. We're continuing to do the work on the land that we need to do to protect ourselves, our property. But yeah, we're not out of the woods yet. Obviously, the firefighters are still fighting the fire. It's quite hard to keep breathing with one of these masks on. So I'm just going to take some flowers and bring some joy into the house. There we go.
It's almost a week since the fires hit our area and many other areas in Victoria. And I think it's taken me and many other people who haven't been directly affected by the fires to really come down from that day of stress and fear for our properties and our animals. Those who were affected and are friends of mine are absolutely devastated, as we all are, by the losses that they've had. And it's going to take a long time for them to recover from the losses of their homes and animals. This week has been full of winds coming from the south, which has been a blessing because it's been cooler, but also blowing the fires out of our direction. We've had a few days of smoke, which was hard, but it was also due to the fact that they're trying to get the fire under control. So they were doing a little bit of back burning, and this was causing more smoke in the area. And today is like the first really still day. Like, there is a breeze at times, but it's actually quite still and calming. Even though it has been quite cool over the past few days, it's been really windy. So it feels quite relaxing to be out here. I haven't actually been out in my garden since before the heat wave. So I haven't really been out here for a week and a half or more. I haven't really wanted to be out here. It's just been so exhausting that I've potted and I've watered, but I haven't really been present, and everything has grown so rapidly. The potatoes are dying off in this row down over here, and I can tell that they're almost ready to harvest. This morning I was doing some weeding and I accidentally pulled a carrot out. This carrot is actually quite an old one because it's in a patch that I have not put seed in this spring past. So I think this was an autumn planted seed and it looks a bit old to me, so it's not going to be as sweet as other carrots. But the carrots next to me here are getting really tall, and I noticed some of the Paris market, I think they're called, the round ones, are ready to harvest. So I have harvested 3 so far. The rest are still quite small, like probably just a little bit smaller than this one here. So I'm going to leave them for a little bit longer, and I can see that the lunar white ones are almost ready to harvest as well. I need to duck over to the other side and have a bit of a fossick in there to see what's happening in there and see whether any of the carrots are ready to harvest. But I'm not going to harvest anymore other than what I've got right here. I am currently doing a pantry challenge, and this has been challenging because I don't have a lot of vegetables preserved left from last year's harvest. So I have purchased a few things. Of course, we're in summer and the fruit is absolutely amazing, and our fruit from up north is a delight. So we are still purchasing some fruit as well, but we have had quite a few apples fall off the trees over this windy period that we've had, and some of them have been all right to eat. So we have been eating a little bit of fruit from our garden. We've also been harvesting some peaches, and I'm going to take you over there in a moment to have a little look and see if there are any peaches. But let's just have a quick squiz at the carrots and see if there are any more that are almost ready to harvest. Okay, so we have the parsnips, which are looking so lush. So let's have a little squiz. They take a lot longer than the carrots, but can you see those little whites? Little white bits right here. These parsnips are definitely going to take a little bit longer to be ready. Let's have a look at these carrots in here. There's one that looks pretty good on the top. Oh, these are more of the Paris market ones. I know I said I wasn't going to harvest any, but this big one really looked like it needed to be picked. Okay, so the other ones are looking a bit like these white ones here. They're not quite ready for harvesting just yet. Okay, as you can see here, the birds have been at these peaches. So I think the rest should really be harvested. This one's actually a little bit soft, so it's ready to go. Ooh, this one's really nice and soft. All right, let's have a taste. I've already been eating some of these and I know that they taste good. Really, really juicy, but not as sweet as the other ones I've been having. Very juicy though. Now this peach tree has had a few years of regrowing because we cut it back heavily because it had leaf curl. And we've treated the leaf curl. There's a little bit of browning off on these leaves, but that's probably because of the heat rather than anything else. But it's got way too many peaches on it for the branches. As you can see, the branches are very thin. They're not yet really suitable to have fruit on them. So to get a very small harvest is amazing. Well, that's a pretty good peach harvest. It's not as big as our peaches of about 4 years ago. We've had a few years without many peaches at all. Last year we got a few. We have got more onto other trees, but I have just spied the plum tree over yonder. Let's go and have a look and see if they are ready to harvest. Okay, here are the plums, and they still look like they're still going. They're getting a bit of colour about them, but they're not ready to harvest just yet. And my favourite plum, which is the prune plum, has got so much fruit on it. But this too won't be ready to harvest for some time because they're all still very green. I've just spied some more apples that have fallen. This is actually my favourite apple tree, and these apples are not ready yet. They're definitely not. They go red, but I'll pick these up. I need to pull out this tufts of grass underneath this tree. But I'll pick up these. I'll pick up every fruit. We don't want fruit just sitting around rotting on the ground. So we pick up everything that drops. But what I wanted to come over to was this nectarine tree, which also needs a good prune this winter. I don't think it got pruned last winter. And these nectarines aren't ready to eat, but this nectarine tree actually amazingly got grown from a pip that my husband's grandfather planted. So it's got amazing, juicy, yummy tasting nectarines on it. It is quite amazing that it succeeded at fruiting, because with other fruits like apples, you don't want to grow them from seed because it could take 100 of the pips to actually get the true apple that the apple came from. Okay, friends, one last thing I wanted to show you and chat to you about was fruit fly. So last year we had our first sighting of fruit fly, or what I believe was fruit fly, in 2 of our tomatoes. And this is the area that those tomato plants were in. And so I've got this male Queensland fruit fly trap, and I've been waiting for a moment to open it with you and put it out. So I need to pop this behind this yellow lid and push this through and click. There we go. So now that's on the inside of there. And then I pop this in like so. And then I'm just going to hang it up here somewhere. I'm just going to hang it up a little bit higher, but I want it to be where my tomatoes are and where the fruit fly was here. So we'll see how it goes. So it says to empty the trap and record how many flies are in your trap weekly. So I will pop by this every Thursday because it's Thursday today. I'll try to have a look every Thursday and see what's in here. So apparently the wick in this trap will attract the male flies from 400 meters away. So just one trap for this area should be enough. But if I feel like I need to put any more traps up, I shall. I'll just wait to see if I get any flies in here. And it also says that it should be replaced every 3 months. So I'm popping one in here in January and we shall see how it goes. But I think this is the perfect time to put one out. I'm just starting to get a few green tomatoes on my plants. Hopefully this does the trick. There are some gorgeous birds tweeting about behind me. They're making the most beautiful sounds. And my sunflowers are looking really, really lovely. I am so glad I have some sunflowers growing, and there's more to pop out their heads very soon. They're not as big as last year's ones, or even all the years that I've grown them, probably because of the lack of rainfall, and that area in my garden doesn't have any drippers on the dripper line. But I've got some behind me here as well, growing among all these pumpkins and corn. There's a few potatoes here. One odd thing that I have noticed is there are no bees on my sunflowers. There are no bees in my poppies. In fact, there have been no bees on any of the flowers this morning. Hey friends, well, to finish off this week's video, there are some zucchinis to pick. I'm very, very excited about this. Normally we would have been harvesting zucchinis for, well, at least a month or two now. But it's just been one of those years, a slow spring and a slow summer. But now we have zucchinis growing. And I haven't been hand pollinating these other zucchinis. They look pretty good, although there are some older ones that have died off, so they've gone yellow, so they haven't been pollinated, but that was earlier on. Oh, you know what? I have just spotted something. There are bees on this sunflower here, and there are bees all over the fennel flowers. I am so happy to see these bees buzzing around. Well, friends, thank you again for watching another video from me. I look forward to seeing you again very soon for a pantry challenge video and, of course, another video in my garden next week. See you then, friends.